Yes, we are live.
Woohoo!
Nice. So, welcome everybody. Yes, today we have a special guest at our Team Copilot session. We have Alex here today, who's from Foot Locker, who's going to share some insights on their Copilot adoption journey. So that's very nice. Alex, do you maybe want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. My name's Alex Snyder. I do work for Foot Locker. I am our OCM tech strategy and kind of one of our Microsoft specialists, and one of the people that helped launch our Copilot chat and our Copilot M365 pilot that we've done. And so it's been a journey. There's been a lot I've learned along the way. I've been in the Microsoft world for about 5 to 7 years now, maybe actually might be going on 8, but the last 3 to 4 years, I've really focused a lot on the Microsoft side of things. So I was a SharePoint specialist for a long time, and then after that, I kind of got bit by the Microsoft bug, and I was like, I want to do this as a full-time job. And so that's what I do now. I love it. It's so fun. I'm actually really excited. So in April, I am speaking at the M365 Community Conference in Florida. So I hope to see you guys there. It'll be about Copilot adoption, Viva Engage, and fun stuff. So if you guys are going, reach out to me on LinkedIn. Would love to see you there. But yeah, so that's kind of my brief background. But yeah, I just kind of stumbled into the space, but the last 2 years has been really heavily focused on Copilot.
Awesome. I still remember that you reached out to me when I published my ebook around Copilot chats. I think you
Yes.
used that as well, right? In organization.
Yes. We use that. We actually use Femke's book as one of our source. Yeah, no, seriously, we use her book as one of our source references for. Awesome. Yeah, just for beginners and Copilot, and people loved it. So we still have it up on our SharePoint site today.
Woo!
Nice.
Tell us a little bit more about how many people are in the organization. First of that, yeah.
In our organization, so corporate employees, I think the number is 5 to 7, maybe 8,000. Or something like that, total, including store, it's 10K plus. I know that. And that's our stripers that are in the store working with customers, but corporate employees, it's less, it's a little less, but it's still it's still over 5K.
And you are in a new role as well?
Yes. So a lot of my role now is focusing more in the Microsoft space. So thinking in terms of change management, but also, how are we using technology for employees? How can I help you work better? How can we optimize your day? Offering trainings about work optimization, and a lot of it is AI at work, right? Because you guys talk about this a lot too, but you can't just deploy a tool and expect people to know what to do with it. It's our job as the company, and it's our job as trainers and SMEs and specialists to give the human value of, hey, this is a great new tool, but this is what's in it for you, and train people on that. So that's a lot more of my focus now, is helping increase adoption and really teach people how to use these tools and give real use cases. It's not just hey, we flipped a switch and it's on. It's more of it's more of a guided journey. Hey, we're in this together, and we want to make sure that you're getting the most out of these tools that we're giving you.
That's awesome. And you mentioned earlier, the ebook is something that you use. What are the other things? Share your best practices with us.
Okay, I will. So I will say something we're really proud of is, so we really started hitting Copilot Chat, the free version, because I think that's probably what most companies are doing right now. Before they just go all in on licenses, most people kind of do the free version, and then they tier up to the full Copilot license, which obviously is a goal of ours. We want to get there, but there's obviously security practices. We have to make sure the environment is ready for AI and agents and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like FMP, your world is just so advanced compared to some companies. I mean, right now, I feel like other companies are they're just now getting on board and are okay, we got to catch up. How do we do this? And so one of the ways that we catched up was by launching Copilot Chat to our company. And so well, first of all, we have over 20% global adoption. And so when I spoke to our Microsoft reps, they asked us, they were like, hey, like, how, like, who did you partner with? What company like helped you do this change management? And we were like, what are you talking about? It was myself and another teammate of mine that really was driving this. And they were like, wow, well, just so you know, when companies try to like launch Copilot by themselves and they don't really have like a partner, a third party come in and help them, adoption rate is usually about between 5 and like 10%. And that's a really small percentage of companies. And we are currently like 20% and growing. And we've only been doing this for like 6 or 7 months, full speed with the content and like nurturing it and stuff like that. And so in my opinion, these are the things that made it successful. It was one, we had people really passionate about it. Like obviously I'm really passionate about it. You both are clearly very passionate about it. It's fun. I don't see it as work. It's so enjoyable. And I love teaching people. I never thought I would enjoy training as much as I do, but I absolutely do, because I love seeing people be like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that I could do this. And now this is going to save me, hours in my day. So passion was one. Some expertise was two. So myself and my teammate, his name is Dwayne, that helped me with this. He's been a Microsoft professional for like 25, 30 years. So he's been doing it way longer than I have. So that was the other thing, is expertise. And then thirdly was the consistency that we had. So I feel like where a lot of companies see drop off is they launch it and they don't keep nurturing it. They don't keep feeding it.
So it's a program that you have.
Yes, basically. So it basically became like a part of our full-time job that we created a SharePoint hub for all things Copilot for the entire company. So it had like your ebook, like I wrote an ebook that was additional to yours. We had videos, we had live trainings, we had documentation explaining. We put Microsoft documentation on there, like made it very clear and cut and dry. What is this tool? How do I use it? We had a prompt library that was available. So we had a hub for all things Copilot, and people love it. They still go to it. Corporate Comm sends people there still. So people really like it, and we keep it fresh and we keep it updated. And the other thing is we have a Copilot chat, Viva Engage community. And we have quite a bit of people that are in it. And I feel like it's done really well, because the people that are in it are what I would call like AI champions. They're people that they're interested, they're invested, they want to learn, they want to evolve the way that they work. They're people that have said to me, I don't understand this, but I want to learn. I know that this is going to happen. It's going to change the way that we work, but I want to learn it. I don't want to be afraid of it. I want to take advantage of it. And so we have a community that we feed constantly. It's like our internal social media for all things Copilot and Copilot chat related. And so we keep that fed.
How do you keep that alive? Is that something that you do? Like,
yeah, it's something I do. It's myself and then my partner in crime. So we both feed the content for it pretty consistently. And I would say that it's probably not as hard for us, because we're very plugged into Microsoft. So we know what updates are happening. We know what new launches are coming. So it's pretty easy. And we also made it a place for people to ask questions. So I was noticing in the industry that people were almost embarrassed or like scared to ask, like, I don't understand this. Like they maybe feel like people are going to think I'm stupid. And that's absolutely not the case. We made it so clear that we are learning together. Like I'm still learning. I manage this thing and I'm learning every single day, like what is going on with it. So this is not everybody is learning at the same time rapidly. And it's not a tool that is stale. It's going to constantly be evolving. So we made it a place where people felt free to be like, hey, I'm trying to do this and it's not working. What do I do? So it's like, it's a community, almost like a Reddit board is the way I would describe it, where like people just post what they're struggling with, what questions they have, things that were successful for them. And we've really blossomed a pretty cool community from it. And the other thing I would say is pretty consistently providing training. So to me, the most important part of getting people to stay interested is you stay interested. So the company doesn't just launch a tool and then we just expect people to figure it out. Like, can you imagine if we did that to people when the internet like first launched? Like, people would be losing their minds. Like, this is a whole new way of working. Like, we can't just drop this on people and leave. So a lot of it has just been consistently showing up and showing the employees like, hey, we've committed to you that this is a process and we're going to keep bringing you training. We're going to keep bringing you content, please. Like, we've also started offering like one-on-one team trainings. So for people that they're like, I still have some people on my team struggling, can we have like some team training? So myself and my partner will kind of split up and we'll go do like 1-on-20 people trainings and answer like customized questions. And this year we're planning out a pretty robust like training schedule. So we're putting a lot of time and investment into learning, and that we're not expecting people to be experts right away. Right now, the goal is just AI literacy and familiarity with it. So people feel more comfortable using it in their day-to-day interaction. And I think that's what's really helped our adoption is it's been an environment for education, discovery, and growth. It's not been this scary thing. I've really tried to make it something that will help people.
Yeah, help people fun. And I hear as well that you make it like that everyone can learn from it, like, and can share. I think that's really a good approach. What about the scenarios and that kind of things? Because I totally think like Foot Locker as well want to know, okay, what is the ROI of this? Like, how do you measure that? How do you know that it's actually bringing enough value, or is that something that you talk about?
It's absolutely something we talk about. So I can't speak for Foot Locker like as a whole, but I can say what is on our minds and what the goal is long term. And I feel like this is a problem that a lot of companies are facing is, how do we prove that ROI? Because it's like, how do you measure productivity? How do you measure that? Like, okay, how do you I've seen some papers where people measure, okay, the salary of the person, then this is their hourly amount. This is how much time it saved them to do this. Like, so maybe that's the right way. I don't know. But I think the important part is, if right now we're deciding what does ROI look like. I think for the free version, what we've decided is, okay, adoption first of just how many people are using the free version. How many people how many prompts are going through in a day? Who are the power users? Do we see adoption for the free version growing? And as that happens, like over time, I think that will help us translate into the full license of like, if we buy more licenses, if we go more all in with this, then what does that ROI look like? Because it's for the free version, it's pretty easy for us to attach value to, okay, people are using it and they're integrating it into their workflow. But yeah. I'm curious actually what your guys' thoughts are on the M365 Copilot license and how you're seeing people like measure ROI, because I see it as a very hot topic right now that people are having to figure out, how do I prove that? How do I prove that us investing this money, we're going to get the money back out of it?
True. And of course, it's about what kind of scenario do you have, or what kind of thing that you want to achieve in your organization. Is it about like having happier colleagues because they're well-being? Yeah, well-being, or is it we want to spend less time or learning more things? Like, there are a lot of things that you can think about. Okay, what is the ROI and how can we measure that? But it's interesting to when you think about, okay, spending less time or that kind of things. Yeah, it's measurable in the different kind of dashboards that you have, that you can see, okay, normally you spend that much time on this, spend that much time on the same topic or in the same application. But of course, it's as well, Microsoft data that you get.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like, is it our data or is it the data? Of course, it's our data, but it's interesting. And I think it's more the way of that you need to have a discussion with each other. How do we measure that, and what is important for us, instead of only looking to dashboards, but
Yeah.
on the feeling about how people feel working with it, or what is the real value for them, asking that in like forums or something like that. I don't know, Danny,
Yeah.
do you have something that you want to add on?
Yeah, no, I think it's the combination of the quantitative data that you can get from the dashboards, but also the check-in, the pulses, the forms to see, okay, but how are people actually feeling, well, regarding Copilot? So yeah, I think it's a combination, and that I think that gives the best insights, and based on that, you can definitely kind of think about, okay, what kind of ROIs or KPIs can we decide upon and measure on that.
Yeah, and of
Yeah,
course.
I think feelings are really important. That's actually a really good point. I've thought about it, but I've never really seen like executives or whatever talk about how do our employees feel using this tool. Like, I'm sure if we surveyed them, they would say, like, for example, when you do your self-review, right? Like, I use Copilot to help me organize my thoughts about my self-review. And there were so many other people that were like, oh, I used it for the same thing. And oh my gosh, I sound so articulate, and I was able to streamline my thought process and my goals and map it much better. And so I can guarantee if we interviewed people, they would be like, please give me more of this. Like, this saves me so much time and rework and just helps me be more productive. And my goal is to be able to measure productivity, because I feel like that's what I get the most out of it for, is like, I'm able to spend a lot more time on meaningful work, on work that like Copilot can't do, like deep intrinsic reasoning when it comes to like human emotions and projects and ideas. Like, it can help me synthesize things, it can help me organize thoughts, but the ideation is still the human part. And I feel like that's where we should spend most of our time. Like, that's what makes us human.
True. And how do you keep up with all the new things that coming in Copilot? Because like it's everywhere.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The question of the year. I feel like I'm like drinking from the fire hose, like, and I've seen other people post about it on LinkedIn. They're like, is anybody else drowning? And I'm like, yes. It's just so much. I get a mix of like Microsoft emails, of course, like actually, truthfully, most of what I learn, it's from my LinkedIn network. If anybody is listening on the call that's like, how do I learn all this? Like, find Microsoft MVPs, follow the Microsoft product managers, follow people like Femke and Danny, like, and me, I post a lot too, but follow these experts in the field, because a lot of times, like, you guys will hear about stuff way before I get an email from Microsoft. And so I feel like community is literally 90% of the time, like where I get my information. It's from people that are partners with Microsoft, and they're in the know, or the Microsoft product manager is teased and they're like, hey, this is coming out. So I feel like if you're passionate in this space and you want to learn, like, community is your biggest asset.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Especially the rock stars and women in AI and security. Love it. I learned so much. If you haven't heard about it, she's an amazing WhatsApp community. You should join it. It's how I met some more amazing people, and again, community. So there's all these different pathways of different groups that I'm a part of, and how I kind of just learn these insights. And of course, like, the major pushes, like, I get from Microsoft, but a lot of the tips and tricks and tools I get from my community.
Yeah, that's interesting. Another thing that I thinking about and just want to ask is, what about the skills that are there in like Footlocker? Is there something that you think about, like, now we have AI or we're using Copilots, we need to think about what kind of people we need in our organization, or how do they get more or different kind of skills to learn to work with this kind of tools? Is that something that you are thinking about or working on?
I think about it in a slightly different way. The way that I think about it for employees and for people So I have a friend that I work with. Her name is Jennifer Baker. She works in L&D here at Foot Locker, and she is super passionate about AI.
Mm-hmm.
And what I believe is going to be the new expert is there are going to be AI specialists in their field.
Mm-hmm.
So Jennifer is incredible about how to use AI in L&D.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a great Copilot Microsoft person when it comes to employee productivity, training, and like use cases. I have a friend that's in product management. He does an incredible job of using Copilot to streamline roadmaps, product design, implementation, timelines, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally think where people are best going to spend their time is if you feel like overwhelmed, you don't need to understand. Like, I don't understand all the use cases that finance would use Copilot for. I train them on the basics. But what will happen is there will be people that will become very inept at using AI in finance, using AI in HR, using AI in marketing, SEO, all that kind of stuff. And so I think the more that you can begin to integrate it into your career field, your niche, you're going to be so much more dynamic and ahead of people. And first of all, you're going to outproduce people. I tell people the key to me, especially with tools like Copilot and Claude and Base 44, the coding engines and ChatGPT. The whole point is for you to increase productivity without sacrificing quality.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually as a human, the faster we go, the shittier something gets because we're racing, right? Like we're going to miss something.
Mm-hmm.
AI takes out that element of if you're racing, AI helps you get there faster. And it's not going to look like a human scrambled through it. It's going to be really well thought, put together, analysis is going to happen, right? And so you're not going to have those like missteps or those gaps, right? So point being, the people that learn to use AI in their area, you are going to surpass your peers because you're going to be way more productive and your quality of your work is not going to decrease. It's going to increase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was also wondering did you guys set up, well, because you have the adoption program, did you guys set up any form of center of excellence or like a management body who is interfering and stuff with the analytics, and how are you setting up the program?
So great question. It's something we're currently working on. So I'm a part of a group of us that are on we're called the AI program management team. And we all have a day job, but this is something that we were kind of like nominated for. And there's about six or seven of us. And what we do is help guide strategy for AI at the company. And one of my peers, she is over we have 2 new steercos. So we had an AI like technology introduction thing where like if you wanted a new piece of tech, you would come to this board and you could submit and like be like, hey, I need ChatGPT because of XYZ. So we had that, and that's continuing being revamped, and we're continuing to do that. Then there's another steerco that some peers of mine are setting up, which isn't really in my space, but we do have cybersecurity heavily involved in that. Governance is heavily involved in that. And then, of course, the AI strategy team. And so we are developing that as we speak because, Copilot is one thing, right? That's already a predetermined tool, but we have some incredible engineers. Like we have a generative AI and artificial intelligence engineering team. So we can make custom end-to-end solutions. Well, that's not really in my space. That is like adjacent to me, but it's product management, it's engineer, it's architecture. So we're currently setting up a framework on how we're going to identify these use cases and how we partner with areas across the business. So we do leave a lot of the decisions in the business case area. So like, let's say someone in digital advertising wants to start using AI, like that's their baby. They're the digital expert, they're the product manager, or they're the engineer, the architect that works in that space. So they're going to know what's best. And if they need us, like, we can help and like provide guidance. But a lot of what our steerco and our group does is we just help guide like long-term strategy. So I feel like in some companies do it different. Some of them are like, no, all AI goes through these people. This is how it's done. And me personally, I just don't know if that's realistic because I don't know anything about HR systems. Like, what? Who am I to tell you that you don't need AI for that? You know? So I feel like I at least for us, what's working is helping to drive overall strategy and projecting like, okay, this is where we want the company to be in like 5 years, and leaving the actual tech and decision and product decision with the, you know, tech teams or with the, you know, marketing team or whatever. They're the experts in that area. They should be deciding what they need. And if they need our help, we're there to help.
That's interesting. And we have a few questions as well, if it's okay.
Yeah.
How did you train people on using the Microsoft Copilot chat versus M365 chat? So how the difference, how I think when people like have no licensing, you see already like Copilot all over. Like how did you do that? Like how did you train? That's the question.
So how we did it was I just trained differently. So the analogy that we use is to differentiate the two. And I have to credit this to my peer, Dwayne. Imagine the M365 Copilot license is an employee for Microsoft, and they work there and they have a badge and they can get into the building. They can go to any room they want. They can go to the snack room. They can go to the bathroom. They can go to meeting rooms, whatever they need to do. They have access to everything inside of the Microsoft system, okay, using Microsoft Graph. Now, Copilot Chat, the free version, is a guest that you invited to Microsoft, and they're in the lobby.
I love
the only way that they know what's going on is if you or a random person walks into the lobby, hands them a file, tells them what they're talking about. Hey, give me your opinion on this document that I'm handing you. And then they can say, this document looks great. I would do this, this, and this. But you have to provide the context. You have to provide the documentation. So when we did our trainings, heavily focused on Copilot Chat, how to use it. So basically the rules of the game. So you are the context provider. It has no access to any of your Teams chats or meetings, but it has access to what you give it. And I also tell people, treat it like an intern. Interns need context. If an intern sat down on their first day with the free version of Copilot Chat and you said, write me a thesis or write me a PowerPoint on our new AI literacy plan, they'd be like, what are you talking about? What am I supposed to reference? Like, what do you want me to do? They would be totally clueless. Whereas if you told a 15-year teammate that had access to all your files and all of your previous presentations and meeting recordings and meeting notes, they could make it for you like no problem because they could reference old stuff. So when we trained on Copilot Chat, I specifically focused on here's what it can do, which is it can do data analyzation, summarization. It can give you a PowerPoint outline. It has access to the web, and it has access to documents that you upload and you give it. And when we set the framework like that, there wasn't as much what I call friction. And you get friction when somebody has the wrong expectation for the tool. So if they expect, oh, it's going to read my email and it's going to read my Teams chats, and like they're going to throw their computer, they're going to be like, oh my God, this isn't what I was promised. But if you go in and you tell them, hey, these are the lanes in which this tool can play, but do whatever you want in these lanes, like get creative. You know, you can still have image generation. You can have it summarize documentation. And especially now we're about to do another training with now that Copilot Chat, the free version, is inside of Microsoft apps. So there's still more usability that's coming out. So that was a big area of focus. The full license people, we don't have a lot of full licenses yet because we're still like in the beta program and trying to figure out what does this look like long term, and what does the business want, and what is LT thinking, right? But that was much more like one-on-one. And to be fair, most of the people that have our full license, like they're pretty adept, so they understand that like it has access to all these different things. But I did do like a 12 video training series for a friend of mine. His name is Craig Folds, and he has an AI like learning company. And I did a whole training series on the full license of M365. And really what I focused on, and if you're trying to train people on the full license, focus on that it holds hands with every Microsoft app. And you're treating it like an employee, and you want it to go and fetch files and information for you, and you want it to draw conclusions. So, but it draws conclusions naturally because it has access to these. It's like in a spider web. It's got access to this stuff, but the Copilot chat free version doesn't have that spider web. So you've got to give it things first to make those reasoning decisions.
Awesome. Danny, do you have a question for Alex?
I know a lot.
Yeah, I think so, but maybe you also have one. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I was wondering, because you said you have the engineering teams, and there you also creating things. Do you see maybe already some people, because I know that with the free Copilot chat you can also create agents. Do you see people already using it, and do you have maybe some examples of use cases for it?
For agents?
Yeah, that maybe inside Foot Locker that you've already seen. Yes.
So what I would say, especially for the free version, what's been popular is personal agents. So that also, if anybody in the chat, if your company's not gone full in yet and you're like, okay, how can I play around with some of this stuff? The free version, you can make agents. I just couldn't share the agent with Femke. Like I couldn't make it and then we both use it. But the free version, I can make an Alex agent. So I do a lot of trainings on how to make a meeting summarization agent. So you can create it and you can set the parameters for it, and you basically can program it to, and it's very easy. Microsoft's interface to create an agent, there's an option called like program or dictate, and then the other one is called describe. And I like to tell beginners, like, do describe, because it's like having a conversation with Copilot to make the agent. And so you can tell it, hey, I have a reoccurring task that I always have to do. So like I made one for my dad that he always has to analyze this one spreadsheet. So we made an agent that all he has to do now is upload the spreadsheet, and it will automatically look for those things that he has to look for every single week. So it takes maybe like 5 minutes to set up, but if it's a repetitive task that you're doing every week, you will be so thankful that all you have to do is click 2 buttons, upload and then send, and it will analyze it for you. So we've seen a lot of personal agents being made, and people really like it because they can kind of customize their repetitive workflows how they want.
I think you need to share it all with us, like in the next session, something like that. It's really easy, as you said, but I think a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, it's super easy, especially with Describe. So, and apologies, I don't have my computer doesn't give me our cybersecurity blocks this web platform, so that's why I have to be on my phone. But if you go to the agent center and you just click create, you just start from there, and again click describe, and then you just describe what you want your agent to do. It'll say, okay, great, it's programmed. In the top right hand corner, you just click publish, and then it'll make your agent, and it's done. You can name it whatever you want. It's super convenient.
And do you also use like task agents or registration agents, or is that something that you're figuring out if that's something?
It's something we're figuring out. I know that there is some experimentation we're doing with agents. I just don't know. It's not in my space. It's in other areas of the technology org, but we are experimenting with them. And to be honest, like we'll be able to do more with agents once our environment is cleaned up. So I've seen some horror stories of these companies that have been like, oh my God, we turned on Copilot, and now we have all this data that everybody has access to. So I highly encourage you guys, if you're in this process, like one of our big initiatives this year is data cleanup. So for example, if you don't have a good file labeling process, like confidential, public, or internal use only, whatever your labels are, and every file is just labeled internal use, if you turn on Copilot and you have people's salary data not labeled as confidential, people could use Copilot to technically pull it. So I would encourage people to do some audits with your cybersecurity team and be like, hey, what's the deal with our files? What's our security like? What do people have access to? And so that's one of the main reasons that we had that, like, we couldn't, I mean, we haven't decided what we're going to do yet, full term, like long-term strategy with Copilot, like the M365. So we haven't decided yet what that's going to look like. But even if we had, we still have a lot of cleanup to do. And a lot of people didn't, this was such a new thing, right? Like some people just didn't know that that was like a risk, and they turned this thing on and they had a mess. So working hand in hand with cybersecurity and governance and data management is absolutely key for a successful experience with Copilot.
So it's sort of like a roadmap or something that you're creating together in, okay, this step are we now, and this is the next team that can probably scaling or having great scenarios.
So I can't take credit for it. I have a friend at work. Her name is Tyler, and she's one of our directors of cybersecurity. And she has built out an entire, basically a roadmap of like, okay, this is what all needs to be done. This is the scale of the work. And so I think what I want to like stress about that is that even you as the AI trainer or the Copilot champion, you can't be all of these people. And so it really requires a team of experts. Like, it's not my place to tell cybersecurity, this is what we need to do. Like, I can tell them, hey, these are the end goals. This is what we want to get to. But partnership with these groups of people is key, because they're the ones that are going to tell me, hey, we did this audit and we have all of these exposed files. Like, we can't do this yet, Alex. And so partnering with the experts in your company is absolutely necessary to get a really good understanding of what your environment looks like.
Interesting. Yeah, I agree. Let me see. We have more questions for you. I think it's
great.
We have a lot of questions, and a lot of people saying that they really enthusiastic about this. So that's really fun. How did you keep up with the updates as the resistance expert? Did you have access to Microsoft trainers, or did you learn from the champions? I think we already discussed it a little bit.
I would say like how I was already a Microsoft person, but in terms of like learning about AI and like Copilot, I really was just self-taught. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I read a lot of books on understand that. And you don't, like, to be honest with you, like, you don't have to nerd out this hard to like be good at Copilot or something. I just wanted to understand, what is LLM? What is deep learning? What is deep research, deep thinking, AI versus generative AI? So at least in my mind, I had a background and a framework to understand what all this stuff is, but there's so much available out there. And to be honest, like, the best learning I've done is asking Copilot about itself.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, what if I want to do this, like, can you do that? And it'll be like, no, but I could do this, or yes, and here's how you would do that. So there's no shame in asking Copilot, what do you do? Like, what can I do for you? What can you do for me?
Our relationship together.
I also
So
love
if I
asking
don't-
Copilot.
If I don't know, I ask it. I'm like, can you do this?
Or even if you don't know what Copilot can do, something that can help is also saying to Copilot, like, this is a task I'm doing. How can you help me? Give me some insights. And we'll do it for you.
Yes, exactly. That's a huge one. I'm trying to think what else I ask it. I'll ask it like, hey, I'm working on this project. These are the deliverables I need. Like, what can you do to help me? And it will give me an outline. Oh, I could do this. I could take this off your plate. I could do this. I could do that. The other thing for peeps in the chat, there is an agent that automatically comes with Microsoft. And I don't know if you guys have played around with this, but the prompt coach. So a lot of people would come to me on trainings and be like, listen, I am just dog crap at prompting. Like, I'm not getting the answers that you're getting. Like, why are you getting better answers? And the reason is because the more you play with it, and I encourage you guys, play with ChatGPT on your phone in your free time. Just get used to how it talks to you and what it wants from you and stuff like that. But basically what this coach does in Copilot, it's called the prompt coach, is you will tell it, hey, I need a prompt to help me come up with a PowerPoint outline on our new HR system. And it will come back, the prompt coach will say, great, sounds fun. Here's what I would need from you. And here's what it would look like if you filled in that information. And then what you'll do is you'll fill in the information and then it will spit back out to you. Great. Here's the prompt that you need to get the answer that you want out of Copilot. You then copy that prompt, you go to a new Copilot chat and you paste it in there and you get a beautiful, robust, like really deeply thought out answer back from Copilot.
Yeah, that's good. And what are the tasks or the activities that you see that Copilot being used for the most at Foot Locker?
At Foot Locker, I would say, obviously, like everybody in corporate America, we're all in 900 meetings a day. Like, I'm double booked. I'm sure you guys are. I'm double booked right now. Like, I'm doing this instead of another call.
We are not doing this. We are reacting.
But like, it's really honestly is meeting transcripts. So one of the key productivity things we've done, especially in IT, like we work in an agile framework. So we have quarterly planning that we have to do where we measure out, okay, what work are we going to do each quarter? And these meetings are like 5 hours long. They're long meetings. Okay. And we're recording it and transcribing. And so even with the free version of Copilot Chat, you can transcript a meeting. If you're the meeting owner, you can download the transcript as a Word doc, upload it into Copilot Chat and have it summarize it for you, pull out key insights, pull out notes, action items, or whatever. If you're not the owner of the meeting, you can still go to the transcript, copy it, and paste it into Copilot Chat and have it summarize it for you. So that's the number one use case. The second is PowerPoint stuff. So helping create PowerPoint outlines. Like, I've never seen Copilot give me a PowerPoint that I've never had to touch. But what it has done is maybe jump started me by like an hour. So I've laid out like, hey, I want this PowerPoint to cover this, 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 and this. And I want it to reference, industry best practices. And like, so for our AI literacy plan, I ran it through Copilot and said, hey, compare this to industry standard for AI literacy. And it did. And it gave me some suggestions and feedback. And then it gave me a PowerPoint file. And then I was able to move stuff around, put some colors in there, do some image generation, and it turned out just great. So that's probably the second best use case. And the third, I would say, is the personal agents to do stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. How do you answer the objective of how will it save me time in my work? The expectation of like the impact.
Are they asking like how I justify like that this will help you?
Yeah.
Truthfully, I'm going to be honest with you. Your words will not mean much. Where I saw the most impact is demos. So I showed people what this could look like and what this time savings could look like. And that's when the light bulbs went off. Once people saw that and they were like, oh, this isn't BS. Like, she's actually showing how to make a PowerPoint deck, how to summarize Word documentation, how to have it act as a strategist. So how, like, you can basically, I don't know if people know this, but you can tell Copilot, hey, act as a HR comms strategist and review my comms plan for this new rollout. And it will poke holes in your ideas and help you come up with a better strategy if there's something that you've missed. So in terms of time saving, I really kept it demonstration, because you can tell people that something's going to save them time all you want, but until you do some like screen recordings or live demos of like, this is how I help it. That's how I help myself restart PowerPoints. This is how I go through my inbox. This is how I prep for meetings. This is how I can summarize meetings. Like, basically everybody in the company now knows to transcript their meetings, because if people are out sick or whatever, people can catch up. And so these are the things that really got people on board, because they saw, oh my God, I don't have to attend every single meeting. If I can't, I can totally get a summary and know what I missed and see if there's anything that they need from me. And so I think that's where we overcame like suspicions like that.
Yeah, I can understand. And even if you have like 2 meetings at the same time,
Yeah,
you do that. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, a lot of other questions, but like I want to ask you to go to LinkedIn and go to the comments and give your responses there. Maybe
Okay.
then a final question, because we are already like 46 minutes.
Yeah, so I have maybe one final question that's also a good closing question. I heard you say in the beginning also that you have this Viva Hub where you have built this community, and I know quite some organizations are still struggling to really, well, activate their community and to really keep it going. So do you have maybe like a golden tip or something for everybody listening on how do you really activate the community and keep the adoption going?
What feedback I have heard from people is, because we've done like surveys and been like, why do you care? Like, do you like what I'm doing? Do you not? Do I annoy you? Questions like that. Like, is this helping you? And most of the time, people have said, there is so much passion and energy in this topic. You make me want to learn about it. And I know that sounds really like cliche and not like a good answer, but I promise you that is 70% of the battle. If you present any new technology to someone and you make it sound like we're reading if we're reading the First Amendment or something, like nobody's going to care. Like, no, it's not fun. Right. So I would encourage people to have conversations, not just train. And so and keep it central to the with them, which is what's in it for me, right? If you always go back to what's in it for them, then your content's always going to hit, because it's going to resonate with the person and they're going to use it. And I think the more you can find passionate champions around your org, and even if you're one of them, do not be afraid to be excited about this, because the more excited you are, other people get. Like, I love Femke's excitement around everything. Like, it excites me to do something. Like, we have a very similar personality, and it makes her very fun to listen to and learn from. Like, I don't feel like I'm being like preached at or talked to. I feel like we're having a conversation, and that has been the feedback from people is, this has been really fun to learn. And we even incorporate like some fun, demos. So in the Viva Engaged community. So like one of them is, I'm obsessed with Sanrio. Like, my whole background is Sanrio. So I uploaded a picture of Cinema Roll, and I like made Copilot put on a Foot Locker uniform for him. And that's now my picture for work. And people loved it. So really silly, but there was a teaching in it. Okay, like, here's how I did the prompt. Here's how it came out this way. And so the more interactive and passionate and fun that you can integrate into adult learning, the more people are going to care.
Yeah, that's interesting, Dani. I think you have as well a really nice use case around it that you probably can share.
Yes, you mean the superheroes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let me hear.
Yeah. So when you're in Copilot chat, you can of course ask. Well, this actually works a little bit better if you have the paid version, but I think it can also work for the free version. But in the paid version, you can ask Copilot like, with everything that you know about me, my work, my emails, my chats and stuff, please tell me what are my superpowers, and create a superhero alter ego, and then creates this really cool profile about you. And then
That is so fun.
with
I'm gonna
that,
steal that. That's so fun.
it's really fun. And then with that, you can actually then go to create and say, okay, based on this profile, create a superhero. And then you have this cool picture image of you. You can turn it into an elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. See? Okay, that's exactly it. I love that. That's so fun. I'm stealing that one. I'm gonna use that. That's great. That's so
Yeah,
fun.
it's really fun.
So Alex, I'm really excited because you're coming to the Netherlands in a few weeks, probably. We're going
Yes.
to talk about it later on, but I'm really excited if we're going to see you in person here.
Me too. It's long overdue.
I'm going to hug you, and I'm really excited then. But for now, yeah, we have so many people giving comments and asking questions, and that they really love it, how you share it with so much passion, as what you said as well. We're really enthusiastic to starting with Copilot, and yeah, I just want to say thank you for making the time and share.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Thanks for the community. I learn a lot from you and from the community, so I'm happy to be a part of it.
Great, thank you so much, and yeah, we hope to see you soon.
Okay, all right, y'all have a good weekend. I'll answer questions in the comments.
Yes, bye bye.